attacking player, and if you can force field their ramp, you can trap their units to one side, either the natural or the main, and just attack whichever place that their units aren't at.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Neoplanet S for the final map of this best-of-3 series between this guy to the northeast position, playing Protoss in the blue trunks, ROOTSage. Plenty of people out in the crowd rooting for Roots, as always. But his opponent is both popular and talented. The southwest position in the red trunks, playing Protoss. One apiece in this best-of-3 series. It's LiquidHer0.
See which players go for which builds. On Neoplanet S, probably the two most popular builds are, of course, the Blink Stalker opening, as well as that fast expansion that's been getting a lot of popularity lately, where you get the one gate, the expansion, and you follow up with the Roblox facility. And that's always just a back and forth match when one player goes for the one base blink, the other one goes for the expansion. Can the blink guy try to micro around the immortals and pick them off, or can the expansion guy solidify his defense to the point where he has enough units he can just overwhelm the Blink Stalkers?
Yeah, and it's always knife edge, isn't it? Because if you do overcommit at any point and your opponent does manage getting good engagement, then suddenly it's not just tipping in your favor, it is an absolute massive snowball effect. You know, it can become an avalanche very quickly, and that's just the way that the PvP matchup works.
Exactly. It's one of the most razor's edge or knife edge matchups there is.
Yes, it is.
And the main reason behind that is because of the warp gate mechanic. In other matchups like TVT or ZVZ for both Twin Roaches, for example, you fall 10, 15 supply behind, that's okay because you can back up and your opponent's army, when it crosses the map, they'll be farther away from the rally point.
Yes.
And you're actually going to have equal armies even if you're about 20 feet down. But in PvP, it doesn't exist. I mean,
no.
When you Colossi in your units to a smaller degree, but most of those units come from those warp gates, and they can appear wherever your opponent wants them to, pretty much.
Yep, that they can. And that makes it very, very dangerous indeed. Reinforcement distances do not matter as long as those pylons stay up. All right, well, we're seeing relatively similar builds, but we are seeing Hero elect to get that Zealot up slightly earlier than his opponent. Both scouting on the map, both missing each other completely, as is to be expected with a map of this particular shape. However, this is not a scout at all.
Yeah, I don't think he thinks Hero spawns at the bottom right. He's actually going here to put down his third pylon. What's kind of cool is he actually pseudo hit his second pylon at the top left of his main. It's going to make it harder for Hero to spot. He might freak out. Also, of course, it will help spot, you know, warp prisms or oracles coming in from that direction.
Yeah, I think he's going to see... Oh, actually, he's not going to see it. Wow. He's going to be playing... No, he's just going to go straight out. I thought maybe he'd stick around, but yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I thought maybe he'd go for another round just to check. I mean, only seeing one pylon is very, very dangerous indeed. That proxy Stargate is, of course, what's happening. But there's another Stargate coming down, and that is, of course, Hero's Stargate, and that's in his base. Could be a defensive Stargate. Maybe he smells what is coming at him.
I mean, it's a great response if you think your opponent's proxying the building. An in-base Stargate typically has advantage against a proxy Stargate. If your opponent goes to Oracles, you go Phoenix, you're going to be ahead.
Yeah.
Even if your opponent goes Phoenix, their Stargate's vulnerable, and if you can take out that pylon, you can get an advantage in a Phoenix count, and then, of course, that can spiral downhill pretty quickly for your opponent. The one thing Hero has to be worried about is, what if his opponent was proxying a Dark Shrine?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, in that case, though, at least Hero could build an Oracle quite quickly for detection, so even then, it's not a terrible build to go with. It's reasonably safe, but he knows. Hero's already smelled what's coming. The Phoenix is coming out here, and the Oracle from his opponent. And this could be really ugly, because Sage is going to have to build Oracles from that position, move them in, whereas the Phoenix is going to pop up right where they need to be, straight next to the mineral line. I mean, just look at the position of the Stargate. It's right on top of the mineral line, which is exactly where those Oracles are going to be. By the time the Oracle gets there should be two Phoenixes out. There'll be a third one well on the way, and I can't imagine he's going to use another Oracle here. He doesn't know what his opponent's got, so we're not seeing another Oracle. We're actually seeing a Robo come down here for Sage, so I have a feeling Sage suspects this might not work out as well as I'd hoped. Oh, Phoenix is actually... No, there we are, going for the interception immediately, and pop goes the Oracle. 2 kills and nothing more than that.
Not nearly worth that Oracle, of course. Sage is not going to try to compete with air controls. The opponent already has a couple Phoenix on the field. Doing so would be suicide. So instead he's going to transition, going to Twilight Council. He's going to see him go to get Blink as well as maybe an Observer or two to help him see what's going out on the map. mostly focusing on Blink. In fact, he actually canceled that robotics as soon as he realized there's no Dark Temple around.
Yep.
I love his decision to expand here. That's a great choice against an opponent. He went Phoenixes, unless they went for some like Phoenix 4-gate, which he's already identified isn't the case. It's great to throw that expansion down because, all right, he has map control. I can't stop it, right? There's nothing, I mean, my Blink is going to be 3 minutes off, so without Blink, Phoenixes are going to control the map. Well, if we have map control, yeah, I mean, I just say expand, right? If you're not going to have map control, you got to go for the expansion.
Yep. Well, Zealot's having a bit of an awkward time there, but it's all right. He's showing moral support. It's fine. There we go. Much, much better. I guess he didn't quite finish Zealot training school. One way or the other, though, as you said, we do have that expansion going down, which means that for the next couple of minutes, things are going to look fairly identical. Sage did get his Nexus down a little bit quicker. Another Phoenix is coming out. The problem with having two Phoenix is that if your opponent's going to expand, you at least want to do something to them. Yeah, you want to try and lift up a couple of probes. You can't really do that with only two Phoenix, at least three, maybe four. Dark Shrine going down here for Sage, and actually was missed by the Phoenix Cap. I'm kind of surprised to see that, considering he knows his opponent's got Phoenixes. The chance of this not getting scouted are minimal. There it is. I mean, that was going to get seen one way or the other. With that many Phoenixes on the map, there's no way that was going to go unseen.
Very likely to get seen, but it's not like it's a lost cause. You can use that to make Archons.
Exactly.
You're getting harassed throughout the game, and with the Dark Shrine being cheaper than it used to be, the 150 gas investment isn't really that big a deal if you're on two bases.
Yeah, which he is, and he now has to deal with the fact that there are Phoenixes moving into a harassment position. Though Sentry's in a nasty spot as well. I mean, Hero might be able to nick one of those as well, and that's exactly what he does. He'll be able to bring one down, and he gets out of there with no losses. Wow. Nice play there. Very nice by Hero. The kind of trademark control that we would expect from him. He's also able to catch that proxy pylon in the middle of the map, which is always nice.
He's doing a just great job, really maximizing use of that map control, shutting down the proxy pylons, harassing his opponent, scouting his composition, and behind us, not missing a beat with his own macro into pro production back home.
Certainly not. Man, things are looking really, really nice for him at this stage. Has a supply advantage. He's now got a bit of a tech advantage going on as well. Sage now feels it's probably safe to start to get the Blink Stalkers out so he can build up a large enough army to regain that map control. Those Phoenixes are not going to stop, and taking out two Sentries, totally worth it. He loses one Phoenix for the cost of two. That's great. Absolutely great engagement there by Hero. Awesome pick-off, and I mean, just the resources tell the story. That's a lot of gas that was sunk into that.
Absolutely. This has been so effective from the 9 of the Oracle Wrath. Most of his resources lost have actually been all the pylons and his target that have been killed. That adds up to a lot of resources. And Heroes continuing to tech. This is the most important thing. If you're in Heroes' shoes, you have map control. It only really helps you if you use it. And he says, you know what? The map control means my opponent can't attack me. If he can't attack me, why warp in a bunch of gateway units? Instead, spending his resources on, the Immortals, the Observers, the Robotic Support Bay, the Forge, progressing in tech tree to get a strong mid-game army, late-game army. That's what he's aiming for.
Yeah, certainly. And that, unfortunately, means Sage is just going to have to sit back and deal with this as best he can, and hopefully not take... Oh, nice move, but the hallucinated Phoenix is there, actually, saying, all right, well, I don't want you to shoot my real ones, so I'm going to throw a couple of fake ones in there for good measure. And it was enough to deflect a lot of the damage that came at that force. So smart play coming in from Hero as well as great control. Now we're seeing Blink now about to complete, so these Phoenixes are suddenly about to become significantly less effective. Admittedly, Sage just revealed Blink kind of the wrong time because he wasn't able to turn that into anything. If he'd been able to kill the Phoenixes off without as he revealed it, maybe that would have been worth it. But the Phoenixes get caught out a little bit. He loses one, a second one is gone. Not...
Whoa!
What?
Oh,
no! Oh no! Wow. Okay, that was
uncharacteristically sloppy by Hero.
I mean, he was able to get out there because Phoenixes are like faster than everything. But yeah, that wasn't characteristically sloppy. Just kind of leaving those lying around. Admittedly, at this stage, Phoenix has become less useful, but honestly, that was a little silly. Oh, hello. He also spots the proxy pylon as well.
That's a nice pickup for Sage, starting to take some victories of his own in this game.
And needs them as well. I mean,
he does.
Yeah, I mean, the person that's been dictating the tempo of this game has most assuredly been Hero.
I mean, the big thing that's looking rough for Sage right now is the supplies are relatively even, but the army composition, Hero has the Colossus to support the army. And we're talking about both players having several Immortals in their composition. It's yes, the Immortals can do a lot of damage to the Colossi, but in a mixed composition, they're going to have a very difficult time closing in distance. And and the Colossus helps out so much just damaging the Zealots, the Sentries, the Archons, whatever's in the front.
Now we've got an Archon and the DTs moving in, and here comes the engagement. Let's see where it can go. Great double lift coming in right here from Hero to get a couple of those Immortals out of the mix. That makes a huge difference to the amount of damage output that's been putting in there. But Sage might just have too many units here as he continues to push forward. Great blink backwards to get a better position here. He continues to go in, but the reinforcements are coming in, and those Immortals stay alive for Hero. He continues to hammer on the forces of his opponent. Another lift comes in, and the two Immortals stay alive. Snipes one off, another one comes in from the back, and Sage is now on the ropes.
Only a few Stalkers to that from Sage. Yes, he does have the blink to do some fancy micro, but there's only so much that can help you when your opponent has this much of an advantage. Oh, look at that!
It's about as rude as StarCraft 2 ever gets. I'm going to put a building there.
Oh no, he's planning to photon overcharge later.
Course. Yeah, absolutely.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, it's pretty standard 15-minute planetary nexus rush. We see it all the time. One way or the other, this is getting dire for Sage. Out come the probes. A nice little placement, actually, if I'm totally honest. I mean, there is no blink available there. The probes are able to do significant damage, but that is not going to be enough. Hero hammers it home. GG!